Okay, hello everyone. Today we are going to be setting up the users for the domain controller. And so to start off, what we're going to do is we're going to go to Tools, Active Directory, Users, and Computers. We go to our SOC lab, and we're going to create a couple of folders. I'm going to do New, Organizational Unit, and we're going to do Users, and then we're also going to create another one, New, Organizational Unit, and Administrators. Okay. And so we're going to go to these folders, do new user. The first one I'm going to do is John Doe. So for the sake of this, I'm not going to let them change the password. Yeah, so I'm purposely making the password very vulnerable. And this is so I can later exploit that with password spraying. So if you guys want to do your own, the best option is to actually create a good password that's not exploitable, like mine is, because mine appears in the rock queue, which we're not using rock queue because it's password spraying. Using a word list is considered brute forcing, so and for this one I'm going to do different password just to show that the password spraying won't work. Okay, go to administrator, new, user, admin, admin, sec, admin, security admin. Okay, next, do it. This one is actually going to have a strong password. Right click this, properties, and member of, add, and then I believe it's domain min. Apply. Okay. Okay, so now we have our administrative users. And so the next thing we're going to have to do is connect one of our hosts to the actual domain. So how we're going to do this is we're going to go to the network adapter and make sure it is pointing to our DNS. Okay, it's pointing to our domain controller. And in our domain controller, so I'll show you right here. It's still initializing, it's still coming up. We're going to do ping 92.168.50.2. So that ping's going to work. But when we go to do ns lookup, 68.50.2, it's not going to work. So what we have to do is we have to configure a new rule for the DNS. We have to allow reverse lookup. we need a zone. So we're going to go to zone up here, new zone, primary zone, next to all the DNS servers running on domain controllers, socklab.local, next, IPv4 reverse lookup, next. We're going to do our network ID, 192.168.50, next, and allows only secure dynamic updates, next, finish. So this should be in here now, so you see right there. And what we're also going to do is do that in another step. So now that we have that reverse lookup set up, which isn't necessary for joining it, it should work. No, can't find. Okay, wait, we have to do ipconfig slash flush DNS. Okay, now we can do that NS lookup. That's weird. Still unknown. Reverse lookup. Okay, so we have our reverse lookup set up. And so we're gonna have to go back in our domain controller. There's a couple things we also need to change in here. Our network interface. So we're gonna go to change adapter settings. This one, properties. We're gonna disable IPv6. So hopefully this will work now. Try again. Flush DNS. Let's look up. Okay, there it goes. So to reiterate what I just did is that I made a reverse lookup zone. This isn't necessary, but for testing purposes, that's what we're gonna do. And then I went to the network adapter settings and disabled IPv6. Another thing to note is that in our network, our VMBR1, is that it needs to be 1500 MTU, and you don't necessarily need a default gateway address. I know in another step I set up default gateways, but this isn't necessary and this isolates our lab. It's just going to get in the way. So the best thing to do is set no default gateway for any of the hosts and to make sure that it has 1500 MTU. And also, just to note, this is the name of my domain controller. And since I already configured it, it's really hard for me to change that now. So now I'm stuck with this naming configuration. But next, we're going to set up the actual domain. We're going to join the Windows client to the domain. So we're going to go into Windows R. You got to click this button to do it. We're going to go to sys, not that, sys, okay. So sometimes the keyword stops working. I just click off of it. Okay. Change domain. Then we're going to do sock lab. So this is where we do sock lab /administrator. This is essentially the login for our domain controller. Make sure everything's correct. Okay. Welcome to the sock lab. .local domain. Press OK. Then the system should reboot. Okay, yeah, here we go. Oops. Restart now. Be back after that's finished. Okay. Now that this system is rebooted, we can go to other user, and it's going to be sock lab / jdoe, which was this user for me. That's the first one I created. Then you're going to type in that password, enter. Oh, I accidentally did John Does. That's funny. Okay, that's going to take a second. All right, now that I've successfully logged in, we can go back to our domain controller. Tools, directory users and computers, users. We're going to go to computers. And this should let us. Here, let's actually close this. Server manager, tools, users and computers, users. Okay, I was mistaken. This is the right computer. If we go here, Windows 11 Client 01, and we're going to go ahead and create another new organizational unit. And we're going to name it Workstations. Okay. And then this is going to be placed in here. I don't know if, okay, it did let me. Okay, that's good. And so now we have to do that for the rest of them. And I will be right back when I finish that. Okay, I'm back, and just like that, all of the clients are now here. We have client 1, 2, and 3. For some reason, I didn't name this one right. So this will conclude all of the steps for setting up the actual domain on the Windows devices and allowing DNS from the Active Directory client. The next step will be to configure logging for WASA, or actually configure WASA to collect logs and then make sure everything is normal. Thank you for watching.